Welcome to PIC Computing video number 36 for A-level computing, and we're going to look in this video at buses. Now these aren't the kind of buses that you'll get every single day to college because you're too lazy to walk. They are basically circuitry or wiring that we would find on the motherboard. If we look closely at the motherboard, we'll see there are thousands of different pathways, circuits, wiring, whatever you want to call them, and there are even some that live solely inside of the CPU as well. So this is the sort of bus that we're talking about. Definition of bus: a bus is a pathway along which data can travel, or a set of wires or circuitry which is reserved for a particular type of data transfer. There are different types of buses which we'll look at now. If we think about our CPU diagram, we can try and fit the buses into here. So the first bus we're going to look at is the data bus. And these arrows here might signify the data bus between the memory data register and the memory unit. So the data bus carries data from one register to another. It basically carries data or instructions from main memory to the MDR and back again. And because it travels both ways, that means it's therefore bi-directional. So if we think about this, how it looks in the real world, there's our processor on the motherboard, and this wouldn't be a bus that just lives solely inside the processor, because the data bus goes between the processor and some main memory, some RAM. So we might expect it to be one of these lines that travels out of the processor and over to the main memory. Who knows, it could even be these tiny little white lines here. Next one, the address bus. So this is only between the program counter inside the control unit and the memory address register. So the address bus carries the location address to which data is going. Basically carries the address of the main memory location or input-output device which is about to be used. It's not bidirectional, it's only one direction between the program counter in the control unit and the memory address register. This type of bus would live solely inside the CPU, so the circuitry for that is only inside of here. Next one, control bus. This basically is a set of buses that allow the control unit to communicate with other parts of the processor. So the control bus sends instructions from the control unit to different parts of the processor. There are separate wires and circuits for different types of control signal. So if we looked at the bottom of a CPU, for instance, I don't know if this is true, but maybe it is. Some of these lines, several of them there, they could be different parts of the control bus sending signals from and to the control bus to different parts of the CPU.